Okay, now let's proceed with the second part of chapter 2, that is characteristic of a force. Okay, as the mechanics is related to the force, so we need to understand the characteristic of a force. So a force has following basic characteristic, that it have a magnitude and direction as it is a vector. And also for the force, it has point of application, where is the force applied, and the line of action. Okay, for example, force represent as a vector, so we have an arrow with magnitude. So for example, here in this figure, the force above the magnitude of force is 4 kilonewton. So this is the magnitude, and the direction is 40 degree with horizontal in fourth quadrant. Point of application is C, and line of action is AB. So this is the direction of the force, and here is explained with 40 degree with the horizontal in fourth quadrant. Okay, previously I explained that usually the angle is measured from the x-axis. So usually it's the angle is measured like this, but this is another terms that they usually use, that is use the quadrant. So for this one, we have this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Okay, this is the direction, and the point of application is C. Of action is AB. This is the line of action. So usually for the force is the characteristic have these four basic characteristic. Okay, for the force system, there are several terms that usually used to explain about the force system. So we have coplanar and non-coplanar. Okay, co means same. Planar means plane. So for here, okay, we have the plane x, y, and z axis. So this is the plane. So as you can see, okay, this is the plane. So coplanar means at the same plane, and linear means same line. Okay, for example here, for collinear means the for example, we have a line here and one force F1 and another force is F2. Okay, it pointing at the same line of action. So this is collinear. And parallel is it's same plane but different line. So this is parallel. And concurrent means same reference point. So we have, for example, we have force like this, and when we it's pointing at one reference point, so this is concurrent. So non-concurrent mean is have different direction. So this is concurrent forces. And for non-coplanar means it's different plane. So one of the force at the xy plane, and another one is at z plane. Same like this. So for the parallel, we have um, so also same, we have parallel, concurrent, and non-concurrent. So for further understanding, you can refer to this YouTube to learn more about the force system. Okay, for the force, there is one law or principle that related to the force. That is principle of physical independence. Okay, principle of physical independence state that the effect of a force on a body is not affected by the presence of another force. So even if there are a number of force acting at the same body, each force has its own influence as other force were absent. Okay, so this is an characteristic feature of force. It helps us to solve any complex problem by resolving its force into horizontal and vertical component. So for the physical principle of physical independence, for example here, a pull open free door chain. So the dog is pull upward with rightward direction, and it can exert two separate influence on feeder upward and rightward influence. So this is the resultant force. It's um, equal to the sum of two individual force Fx and Fy. So this is the principle of physical independence.